evening and welcome to Dine to Defeat ALS Virginia. I'm Lynn Aronson, Executive Director of the ALS Association, DC, Maryland, and Virginia chapter. I'm excited for you to be joining us from the comfort of your home this evening. Tonight it is our privilege to honor Jill McGlaughlin of Harrisonburg, Virginia. Her own family's experience with ALS and commitment to supporting people living with ALS and their families is an inspiration. As we go through the program, you will hear from patients, families, caregivers, volunteers, and some of our amazing staff. We are united in one cause, to end ALS and help those living with the disease to live their lives to the fullest. We will also get to enjoy some amazing chefs prepare delicious recipes that I hope you will try making at home. Before the program starts, I want to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors. Their commitment, even during these difficult times, means so much and we are so grateful. Throughout the evening, please make sure to go to virginiadinetodefeatals.org to bid on the amazing auction items we have and donate through our Raise the Pallet. Thank you again for joining us, and just remember, as we battle ALS, we live with one simple principle. We can't wait. We can't wait for a cure, we can't wait for a treatment, we can't wait to provide care, and we can't wait to see how much you enjoy the Virginia Dine to Defeat ALS.
Welcome to Dine to Defeat ALS Virginia. We're so excited to have you join us for this incredible evening as we rally together in the fight to end ALS. I am your host, Jonathan Strasberg, Director of Philanthropy for the ALS Association DC, Maryland, Virginia chapter. Tonight is all about food, love, and honoring Jill McGlaughlin of Classic Kitchen and Bath of Harrisonburg, Virginia, with the ALS Leadership Award for her tireless efforts over the years to support our ALS community. As we start 2021, there is so much that we are excited and hopeful for, and we hope that tonight's event is the first of many, and that as the year continues, we'll be able to come together not just online, but through programs like this that will eventually be in person. Tonight, you can go online to virginia.dinetodefeatals.org to make donations, find tonight's recipes, and bid on one of the more than 100 auction items that we have available. And don't forget, the auction runs through Sunday, January 24th, so get your bids in. Now, it wouldn't be a proper event without a cocktail, so let's go to Fredericksburg and the folks at A. Smith Bowman Distillery for tonight's signature drink.
Hi, I'm Rhiannon Enlow, Experienced Team Lead at the Sazerac House. The Sazerac House is a multi-story, spirited experience that you can come and visit in downtown New Orleans. Today, I'm going to make for you a classic cocktail called a Maple Leaf, featuring Isaac Bowman Port Barrel Finished Bourbon. To make this cocktail, you need a few things. A glass to drink out of. I've got a little stemmed glass here, plus some mixing tins, and something to measure with, like a cocktail jigger, something to strain with, like classic Hawthorne, fine mesh strainer, because we'll be straining out some fresh juice in this cocktail. So let's get started. We're going to have in our mixing tin 2 ounces of the Isaac Bowman Port Barrel Finished Bourbon. What's wonderful about this particular bourbon is that it spends an additional 6 months of its 6+ years age in port casks. So it brings a bunch of fig and nutty flavors that are going to be very well complemented by the maple syrup we'll add to the maple leaf. So we'll have ½ an ounce of maple syrup, 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Now I'm going to add ice and shake. Essentially, at its heart, this cocktail is a variation on the whiskey sour. So whiskey, lemon juice, and sweetener, but instead of sugar, we're using maple syrup. Shake. Now to strain out this cocktail, I'm going to use this traditional Hawthorne strainer. Get rid of that ice. And like I said, with a fresh squeezed lemon juice, this mesh strainer is just to get out any particulate. Delicious. Doesn't even need a garnish. So here we have the Maple Leaf Cocktail, featuring Isaac Bowman Port Barrel Finished Bourbon. To learn more about that fabulous whiskey, please visit asmithbowman.com. And if you'd like to learn more about the Sazerac House in downtown New Orleans, visit sazerachouse.com and also check out any of our online virtual events. As always, please remember to drink responsibly, and cheers to you.
Hello everyone. I would first like to thank everyone for your time and support of this life-impacting ALS fundraising event. My name is Randy Gregory Jr. I have been living with ALS since April 2011. Needless to say, it has had an impact on my family and life in ways that I could never imagine. As a 43 years of age young man with seasonal allergies as a health issue when diagnosed, my daily life as a father of 5 children and 2 grandchildren, a special agent with the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, and the head men's basketball coach at the Community College Baltimore County, Catonsville campus, was changed in the way I have to communicate, my abilities to earn a living, and in my impact on the development of young people for their roles in the world. In facing these new challenges, prayer and reading the Bible has helped me maintain a positive attitude and hope for a miracle to end this disease for everyone. The desire to witness my children and grandchildren achieve life goals, graduate from college, get married, graduate from high school, purchase a home, and raise children, has also helped me to deal with the challenges in living with ALS. My family and myself have been fortunate to have the support of the DC/MD/VA ALS Association chapter in many ways. From explaining the disease to us, in evaluating my living environment for its suitability for what will be needed for accessibility, providing resources to procure computer equipment that allowed me to work, support group meetings, to helping us get assistance from the ALS Association chapter in Kentucky and a wheelchair vendor while visiting my son in college, and helping me get needed oral and ventilation supplies. The monies raised are essential for the chapter to continue to support myself and other people living with ALS and their families. Thank you again for your time and support of this devastating disease.
Calvin, thank you for sharing your inspiring words. You can go online to support our chapter by donating and bidding at virginia.dinetodefeatals.org. If you enjoyed tonight's cocktail, you can not only bid on packages from A. Smith Bowman, but there are also wine selections from Holman Ranch and Michael Schacht's Wineworks, tastings at New Kent Winery, Sagebird Cider Works, and Greyhaven Winery, plus gift cards to the Virginia Distillery Company, Veritas Vineyards, Underground Cellars, and a membership to Reservoir Distillery, as well as many more packages. I don't know about you, but the hardest thing is deciding what I'm going to bid on. Tonight's program wouldn't be possible without our incredible sponsors: Classic Kitchen and Bath, F&M Mortgage, Glass and Metals Inc., Brett Holsinger and Lauren Holsinger Simmons, Strategent Financial, The Interchange Company, PB Mayors, Graves Light Private Wealth Management, LD&B Insurance, Matchbox Realty, and the Marius Group. We are so grateful for your support and the difference you're making for the more than 700 families affected by ALS living in our region. Now let's head to Richmond for our first appetizer with Red Salt Chophouse and Sushi, part of Eat Restaurant Partners.
My name is Paul Costandon, and I'm the chef at Red Salt Chophouse and Sushi. And I'm going to be helping you prepare the appetizer course for the 2021 Virginia Dine to Defeat ALS. So to get started, we're going to take my scallops, and all I've got for utensils are a pair of tongs or a fish spatula, depending on what you like to use. I've got some salt and some pepper, and then a small side plate as well as the plate I'll be plating in. So I'm going to go ahead and season my scallops. A little salt, a little pepper on top. All right. Got a nice preheated saute pan. As you can see, the way the oil moves, it's nice and warm. And I'm going to go ahead and put my scallops seasoned side down in the pan. I'm just gonna let them sit there. Just turning up the heat. I want to get a really nice sear here. Just rotate them around the pan a little bit. One of my scallops is browning and one the other. Let everyone feel the heat. You can see in the bottom of the pan, you're starting to build up nice little layer of caramel from the scallops as they sear. And that flavor is going to be really nice in our sauce. It's a one-pan dish. Takes a little while to prepare, but not too long. All right, we're going to go ahead and flip our scallops now. There we are. Those are pretty. Okay. Now, go ahead and toss that corn right on in. Move that around a little bit. Nothing to just now I'm going to go ahead, dump that cream in there. We're going to turn down the heat a little bit. I'm just going to poach those scallops in the cream. Being really careful. We've done such a good job to sear the top of the scallops. We don't want to ruin that now. The scallops should be just about there. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the burner. Just sort of let it bubble away. Pull these scallops out. Plate. Go ahead and turn that off. All right. Now, gently place seared scallops right on the top of our charred corn and scallop pudding. Go ahead and move this pan out of the way. To finish it, for a final garnish on, just going to break a few pieces of pancetta over the top. Take this basil oil, a few drops here. And there we are. Charred corn, cream with seared scallops, crispy pancetta, and basil oil. Enjoy.
Wow, that looked amazing. And just remember, you can go to virginia.dinetodefeatals.org where you can find all of tonight's recipes, plus donate and bid on auction items. This year, we've been fortunate to introduce some new programs in Virginia, including free assistive technology kits in Richmond and Southwest Virginia, thanks in part to Diana Hollett in memory of her husband, Lee John Hollett. And in the Tidewater and Hampton Roads areas, the Virginia Gentlemen's Foundation created JT's Angel Fund in memory of their friend Josh J.T. Thompson, who passed away from ALS in October. The Angel Fund provides emergency financial assistance to families affected by ALS. We have even more plans for this year, and if you're interested in helping us expand programs like these to other parts of Virginia or our chapter, please reach out to us. Now, if you're checking out the auction board at virginia.dinetodefeatals.org, you'll see some amazing gifts there, including an autographed Ryan Kerrigan football, earrings and a necklace from Kendra Scott, new men's wardrobe items from Classic Tuxedo in Harrisonburg, Virginia, a clicking grow for the home gardener, and a wine suitcase from Vingard Valise. So make sure to go to virginia.dinetodefeatals.org to bid and donate. Now let's head to Charlottesville and Laura Forner from Dumplin of the Champion Hospitality Group for our next appetizer.
Hi everybody, I'm Chef Laura Forner, and today I'm going to teach you how to make spinach gnocchi with a wild mushroom butter. So you guys all start with 4 russet potatoes. We're going to bake them. Now you can either bake them in the oven at 450 like a baked potato, or you could do this shortcut and do them in the microwave. I know a lot of people don't believe in using the microwave, so you do whatever you feel is best. Alright, so once your potatoes are baked, we're going to go ahead and cut them in half. You're going to need a ricer. This is what we call a ricer. You are going to scoop out your potato into the ricer. I prefer to do my potatoes hot. I know a lot of people make gnocchi and they use cold potatoes, but in my opinion, it does not make as nice of a product. So scoop it out and throw it right through the ricer. Very important step. You're going to want to salt them in between each potato, and then you're going to want to add flour. This is a very important step. By adding flour and wiggling your fingers through, you're going to be able to create all these wonderful air pockets that once we add the wet mixture to it, will make your gnocchi nice and light and fluffy. All right, so let's go. All right, now that we've got our potato mixture made together, we're going to make it into a well. So you pile all of your potato dough, make a well right into the center, and we're going to take our spinach puree and eggs that are already mixed together, and we're going to put that right in the middle of the well. We are going to put a little bit of flour right on top, and then we're going to gently fold it in. As you can see, the green spinach is incorporated into the potato dough, and you want to be very gentle in this stage because you spent all that time creating the beautiful air pockets on the potato when we put it through the ricer. A little bit more flour as you work it in, so then it all forms together as a dough ball. From here, we're going to roll it into a log. Now we're going to turn our gnocchi dough into logs. Take our hands, a little bit of flour, and we are going to roll it into logs. While you're doing this, make sure you have a pot of water, heavily salted water, on your burner, getting ready to boil your gnocchi. You want to do this all pretty quickly. All right, now that we have a bunch of logs done, you can either use a knife or whatever you kind of have around the house. I prefer to use one of these scrapers because it gives me a better cut when I'm cutting the dough. You're going to cut it into bite-sized pieces. Now once you've gotten all of these cut up, we're going to drop them right into your boiling salted water. You can be very gentle with them as you drop them in. Those are boiling. What I like to do is kind of preheat my pan. If you throw your gnocchi into a pan that is not already preheated and warm, you won't get the nice brown crisp that people like on gnocchi. We're going to soak our gnocchi in the water until they float to the top. While those are cooking, I want to show you what else we're going to have. So since we're doing a wild mushroom butter, you're going to go ahead and look on your recipe. You've got 1 stick of softened butter, porcini mushroom powder. You can get this at most stores. We're going to make sure we have our Parmesan cheese. We have extra butter for cooking. Now, I like to put regular unsalted butter in the pan with the gnocchi and the mushrooms, and then finish it with the mushroom butter right at the end. So this wild mushroom butter, it's 1 stick of unsalted butter at room temperature. It is 2 tablespoons of dried porcini mushroom powder, a tablespoon each of minced shallots and garlic, and then salt and pepper to taste. And then you're going to get this beautiful brown butter that will infuse mushroom flavor all throughout your entire dish. Okay. So my gnocchi is floating to the top. As you can tell, it didn't take very long. I'm going to go ahead and take probably about a tablespoon and a half of cold unsalted butter. I'm going to throw it into my pan. You can see that it's nice and hot. carefully scoop out your gnocchi. Drain any excess water off of it as you're doing that. Right into the hot pan. There, you're going to want to add some salt and pepper, a pinch of each. And then we're going to set it and forget it just for a minute. Because what you want to create is a nice brown crust on the outside of the gnocchi, and if you shake the pan too soon, you won't achieve that. And from here, we're going to add our thin sliced mushrooms. I use whatever mushroom I have. Today I had shiitakes because it's a porcini mushroom butter. So there's your wild mushroom. Here's whatever mushroom you have in your fridge or whatever mushroom you can grab from the grocery store. Throw those right on top. We're going to add a little bit more salt and pepper to that just to make sure we season and layer throughout the dish. All right, now you've got a couple minutes in cooking. You're going to want to go ahead and add your mushroom butter. So this is 2 tablespoons of the mushroom butter. All right, now these mushrooms are nice and soft. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. You see how pretty and green these gnocchi are? The spinach really infused all throughout the dough. I'm going to go ahead and plate. And what you're going to do last to finish it is just go ahead and grate some fresh cheese right over the top. Voila! You've got spinach and wild mushroom gnocchi with shaved Parmesan cheese. All right.
Thank you. I'm going to have to try making that gnocchi at home sometime soon. You can get that recipe at virginia.dinetodefeatals.org, where you can also donate to help end ALS and bid on some amazing auction packages. We have some great travel and food items that you can bid on, including stays at the Cavalier Hotel in Virginia Beach, the Glasslight Hotel in Norfolk, gift cards to Champion Hospitality Group restaurants in Charlottesville, the Joshua Wilton House and local Chop and Grill House in Harrisonburg, and amazing coffee packages from across the Commonwealth. So head over to virginia.dinetodefeatals.org to donate and bid. As I mentioned at the top of the program, we're looking forward to coming together for some exciting events. Keep your eyes out for Bucket Your Boss in May and our walks to defeat ALS and more in the fall. Now it's time to start dessert with local Chop House and Grill in Harrisonburg.
Nutmeg and apples, that combination reminds me of my grandma. I always remember she would sprinkle nutmeg on top of applesauce at her house whenever she was serving that when we were kids, so I love that combination. Anytime I use cinnamon, I like to use a little bit of ginger. They're in the same family, they go very well together. I'm very happy to be able to participate in this event. I know the ALS Foundation helps out in a lot of different ways for people who are battling ALS. And so we're very happy as a restaurant to be able to contribute to this. The key for making a good flaky pie crust is keeping all of the ingredients as cold as possible. So when you do actually get your hands in to do the final mixing, then it's important to try to just use your fingertips as much as possible so the heat from the palm of your hand doesn't transfer into the dough. One of the things that we like to focus on is using as many local ingredients as possible. So we partner with Ryan's Orchard. They have a bunch of amazing apples, especially this time of year. We love being able to use their products and help support their business as well. The final trick, I do this for any pie I make, put a piece of foil around the side of it to help keep it from getting too brown too quickly. You remove that foil for the last 10 or 15 minutes of baking.
That looks amazing and delicious. We're now at the most important part of the program, the presentation of the ALS Leadership Award to our honoree, Jill McGlaughlin. We could think of nobody more appropriate than Jeff Hill of local Chop and Grill House and the Joshua Wilton House to introduce his friend, Jill McGlaughlin. Jeff, take it away.
Hello, my name is Jeff Hill. I'm the managing partner, owner of the Joshua Wilton House and the local Chop and Grill House in downtown Harrisonburg. I relocated to Harrisonburg back in 2008 coming back to take care of my mother and father. And shortly after returning, I had the great pleasure of meeting Chad and Jill McGlaughlin at an ALS fundraising function at their home. That was my first introduction to Lou Gehrig's disease in depth. And so each year after that, our restaurants are always helping, giving auction items, and being support the cause. Well, in April of this year, 2020, I was diagnosed with ALS. So I've gotten to learn a little more about the disease, unfortunately, firsthand. When I was first diagnosed, I was in a state of disbelief, and also, I'm also a very private person, so I didn't tell many folks outside of my immediate family. But one of the friends I did reach out to was Jill, and who's done so much for ALS Foundation in the past. So it's with great pleasure that I get the chance to announce the recipient of the ALS Achievement Award, Ms. Jill McGlaughlin. Congratulations, Jill.
Hi, my name is Jill McGlaughlin, and I'm this year's honoree for the Dine to Defeat ALS to support the ALS Association DC, Maryland, Virginia chapter. And it truly is an honor to be recognized. We've had about a 15-year, relationship with the ALS Association, and we got to know the ALS Association when my father-in-law, John McGlaughlin, was diagnosed in about 2006. It was a hard diagnosis because we really didn't know anything about ALS at the time, and as we got to learn more about it, we really saw a need to raise awareness in our own community. And in the next year, we had a couple fundraisers, and we started hosting an Evening of Hope, which has been going on since then. So 2007 was the first year we hosted, and we have been holding that event annually up until this past year when we could not with COVID. It's been a true testament to the support of our community, and it has not been without a lot of hard work. And I have to say thank you to the people who have made that possible year after year. Starting with when we had our first event, we hosted it at Danny and Robin Newberry's home, and Bev Randolph was our event coordinator, and she donated her time to help us get this event started and get it off the ground. And John was able to attend that event. So it was a very special event that we got to have. And they hosted a few more years after that. And then Walter and Martha Kurt opened their home to have an event. And then soon after that is when we started having the tradition of hosting it in our own home. And it's really been a labor of love where Chad and I get the house ready, and Chad's out there getting the grounds ready, getting everything looking beautiful. And we never know what the weather's going to have to hold, but it has always turned out to be a beautiful event. My dad, I have to thank him, Greg Verson. He's been our annual photographer, and he always captures the moment and captures great portraits for everybody, which has always been fun. And Susie, Chad's mom, John's wife, she's always there on the committee helping us get auction items and having the event just come off and getting all the kids together, and Classic Tuxedo, always donating the tuxedos. It was always fun to see the little kids through the years growing up, getting dressed up for the event. And Tana Parker and Katie Atkinson, who've been longtime members of our committee, making the event come together. It really has been a lot of fun over the years to get everything put together and see who's going to show up every year. And when it comes to doing the auction, Vern Michael and Mary Jane have been just so gracious with their time and their efforts and really making it a fun event. And Matt Ogden, I cannot forget Matt. Matt has always been our bartender, and he has always donated his tips and his time for this event. He was bartending at the Joshua Wilton House the same time that Bill Steiniger had ALS. John and Bill had ALS at the same time and passed away similar times in 2007. And Matt has always been a part of that. And the Joshua Wilton House, they were early partners with the event because of the relationship with Bill. And so it's just been a community effort that has made an Evening of Hope a success, and our time with the ALS Association a success. And I was fortunate to serve on the board for, I guess, maybe about 8 years. And that was a real eye-opening experience, getting to meet so many wonderful people that were part of the ALS Association from all parts of Virginia, Maryland, and the DC area. And during this time that I was on the board was the Ice Bucket Challenge, and that was an exciting time because the money that was raised and what that has done for ALS, you just can't even describe how amazing that was, because the research that has come out of that and the advancements. So there is hope that one day we will have a life without ALS being a terminal disease. And so I guess in closing, I just want to say that I'm truly honored. It has been a labor of love working alongside the ALS Association, and I continue to support them and hope that you will continue to support them as well, and have a great evening.
Jill, congratulations. This is a well-deserved honor. Thank you for everything that you do for our community, for your friends, and for making a difference in the fight to end ALS. And if you'd like to make a donation to honor Jill and join her in our fight, you can go to virginia.dinetodefeatals.org. Now, what's better than one dessert? Obviously, the answer is two. So let's finish up our journey around Virginia with a bonus dessert from the Cavalier Hotel and Beach Resort in Virginia Beach.
Hello everybody, my name is Scott Woodruff. I'm the executive chef here at the historic Cavalier Hotel here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I'm accompanied with our resident pastry chef, Alicia Abb. She is going to be sharing with you today our recipe for the signature Becca Mile High chocolate cake. It also features Tarnished Truth Bourbon, which is distilled here in the hotel, and we're very excited to share that with you. We also want to take a second to thank you for your support for the Dine to Defeat ALS event. The ALS Association and the support here is definitely something that we're proud to be a part of, and we want to thank you for your support, and most importantly, bon appetit.
Alright, so here we're going to start assembling our Mile High. We have our first layer of bourbon soap. It's a sponge cake. As we go, we do a ring of buttercream around the edge, and that keeps the chocolate itself from coming out. And we go to decorate. Pre-built Mile Highs. He is already frozen, so he's all set for us to decorate. I'm going to remove the ring. That ring we use so that the cake stays nice and straight, as well as the acetate. And then we're actually going to take this cake and we're going to flip him over. And by doing that, we're creating a nice, even, and straight edge for ourselves. This is the espresso buttercream. Just gonna take that, spread it all around the top. Do our best to get that. Now we're going to work on the sides. So when we're decorating the sides, we want to do the same thing at that top. We want to do everything we can to make sure our sides stay nice and straight. Sometimes that means trying to add a little bit of pressure at the bottom of our spatula. Sometimes that means keeping our spatula as flat as we can.
Well, friends, that wraps up our 2021 Dine to Defeat ALS Virginia. Now, I can share my own thoughts and words with you about the difference that your bids and donations make tonight, and they're tremendous. But the truth is, my words don't matter so much. Instead, we're going to close the program with some of the members of our community who live each day with ALS, so you can understand just what a difference you're making when you go to virginia.dinetodefeatals.org to bid and donate and join our fight to create a world without ALS, because we can't wait.
I'm Jay Kenny.
Hi, my name is Renee Cavalier. This is my family.
I am Antonio with
Hello, my name is Steve Greer, and I'm a patient living with ALS.
I was diagnosed with ALS over 10 years ago.
I started experiencing various symptoms that were suspicious. For me, an initial symptom was some choking and a hoarseness and raspiness in my voice, which you can hear now.
Since my mom was diagnosed with ALS about 5 years, she's had ALS for about 5 years now, we have become a big team. And it's very important that each of us have a role in caring for my mom.
As a person living with ALS, I'm determined to do everything I can to help find a cure for this awful disease so that other families don't have to experience the roller coaster of emotions that my family and I are experiencing right now.
Since I will in all likelihood lose my voice, I've been doing message banking and voice recording so that when I do depend on augmented technology to communicate, hopefully much of the voice will be my own voice versus a purely robotic voice.
ALS first robs your identity, then it robs your dignity, and finally it takes away your life. But it doesn't take away hope. And
we're grateful to the ALS Association because they gave us the path and understanding of what the process was going to be for my mom, because when she was diagnosed, we were lost, but the ALS Association gave us hope.
I refuse to let this disease define who I am.
We feel extremely supported. None of this would be possible without our local chapter and the wonderful staff and the services they provide. Every day there's a new symptom, there's a new loss of function. There's a reminder that this is very real.
The ALS Association has really been beneficial to me.
We just want to thank everyone again at the ALS Association. Please support the ALS Association by donating.
Don't stop fighting. Don't give up. No matter how you may feel, because help is on the way.
So I ask you, and I tell you, we can't wait. Please donate. Thank you very much.